Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. Now, if this come off as a rant, that's exactly what this is. Because since the beginning of the year, I think that's when I got my iPhone. I think that's, yeah, since the beginning of the year, I just don't understand it. Like, I don't understand why it has to have issues and problems, and it can't just overall just be a normal phone. Like, phone conversations is weird. I can't even send out photos to people. Like, it was one of my friends, I always let her know like what new shoes I get and stuff, and every time I try sending her a photo, it's like taking, now it just doesn't even send photos. But it's like a 50-50 chance. Like, at one point it was like a 50-50 chance on whether it was going to send or not, and at one point it was sending photos. It was no problem with sending photos. And now it's like, no, you can't send this friend, like the one and only friend that you really talk to more than any other friend, like, you can't send them no photos. I can't send her none of the shoes that I am bought, so I gotta post on Instagram, send her the link to it, and be like, oh yeah, here's the shoes that I bought. I couldn't have just, you couldn't have been the first one to see them. Like, no, everybody has to see them. And I'm like, dang, man. Like, I don't understand that. I honestly don't. But I'm telling you, like, iPhones is probably like, I mean, it just seems like it's the better choice. But honestly, like, I think I can say that I had a better time with the last Galaxy phone I had than this iPhone. Like, honestly, I think that's what I should have just did, was just go on and just get me another Galaxy, cause I'm saying, like, iPhones should not have this many problems. They shouldn't. I'm saying, like, you just out here just trying to send photos to people, and I'm like, I've never had that experience or that problem with any of the photos. I think the only downfall to it, and I'm like, I don't know why Galaxy, it's taking them forever to fix that problem, is the quality to their photos. They'll like post like a video or a photo somewhere on social media, and it honestly looks like it was recorded off of an old iPhone 4 or something. And I'm like, I don't know why the quality is like that. I like freaking, what is that one phone's, the Google Pixel? I might have to get me a Google Pixel when my contract and all that stuff is over with, because I'm saying, like, I understand, like, or hopefully I could just pay the phone off. Like, if I make like a lot of money this year, I just pay the phone off and then just go out and get me another phone. But I'm like, can it, like, is this phone like the quality? Like, no, I'm making sure next phone I get, I'm like, okay, is the quality gonna be good? Can it send messages without failing every single time when I want to send a photo message and stuff? What else? Like, I'm saying, like, is it gonna have a lot of memory? Is the music quality gonna be good? Is it gonna be difficult? Like, is there things that I should know about this phone? Am I gonna have to replace it every 1-2 months and stuff? Like, man, I remember it was just like, back then, I'm like, you just had a phone that worked. And now it's like, nope, after a while, phone just stops working, constantly coming out with updates. In fact, let me update the phone right now, and I'm like, bro, what they should be doing is coming out with an update on fixing this photo message and stuff, because I'm like, that's, you guys come out with updates with stuff that nobody's not even thinking about. Like, let me see what this update's about real quick before I update it, because it's like, this thing ain't no actual legitimate stuff that I'm like, what's the reason of updating this phone every 2-3 weeks? General software update. Some features may not be available for all regions. Well, what is that? No, what is, like, can I know what the update is about? Like, a security, like, that ain't told me nothing. Provides important security. So, security updates. Look, I feel like that if you don't overall get yourself caught up with stuff on your phone, you ain't got to worry about security updates. I feel like that the security updates is like, why? Why is that necessary? Like, what's going on now where it's now taking effect, or it's going to be a problem, and it wasn't like that much of a problem, or it wasn't as serious back then than it is now? Like, I've never had any security issues with my phone. Never. I say the only problem that I face, like, with just like a lot of, is when I'm playing one of those like mobile games and a bunch of ads pop up. That's the only problem. But for the most part, I don't get involved into anything. I don't be going on random websites to where my phone can be compromised. Like honestly, I'm telling you, it's like there's stuff that they do to iPhones, and then of course like the main thing is when they slow the phones down and stuff, and I'm like, bro, I don't understand, like why slow the phones? And that's where it's like, okay, if it's me updating this phone every single time, and then you're like forcing me, or you keep notifying me, or you keep doing something to where I have to update my phone and stuff, then why not come out with an update that's not gonna be acting all weird? Like I just, man, I'm just sitting here trying to like think about, because it just gets frustrating after a while. Like you just try to have a normal phone and you can't even do that. Like I don't understand it. That's when I'm like, yeah. After this, I'm done with iPhones. I'm like, I ain't fooling around with iPhones no more. It's like phones don't even work properly. Like charging all this money for a phone, and then it's like, oh, making it seem like, oh, it's the best phone. Honestly, I have to say that Galaxy phones are probably the more technical phones. Like them are the phones that like work properly, but the camera quality is bad. And then the camera quality is good on the iPhones, but everything else is just horrible. Like I don't understand it. I honestly I don't. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like I'm hoping like next phone I get, like good camera quality, good phone, like no problems and all that. I ain't gotta worry about, like, because them Google Pixels, I feel like you don't really hear too many things about the Google Pixels. I might like search it up on YouTube. Google Pixel 4, is that the latest one? Let's put like bad at the end of it. See if there's like any videos. Somebody was like, Google Pixel 4 is a fail. Tech Spurred review 2 issues. Everything went. I'd rather have 2 issues than multiple issues and stuff. And that's why I'm like, when people been like, when they be doing like drop tests or bin tests with their phones and things, like, who would be going out just to buy a phone to bend it? Like, that's what I'm like, yeah, that's like I don't know if it's they trying to do it for, a thumbnail, or, they trying to clickbait people and stuff, but I'm like, look, when I'm buying a phone, that's the least thing that I'm worried about. Is this phone gonna bend? It's like, it's gonna mess up? Like, I feel like, yeah, if I got me some freaking thunder thighs and I'm over here sitting in, like, curved areas, and my phone's gonna like prone to bending and things, then of course. But yeah, I'm a freaking stick. Like I ain't gotta worry about stuff bending in my pocket. But yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna be bending my phones. And then when they be doing the drop test, like purposely dropping the phones, like, man, I'm telling you, when I like seen some of the like phone review videos like back in the day and stuff, where they were throwing the phones on the ground or running them over with a car, or just doing some of the most craziest things with them, or putting them in the blender. I just, that's one video I think I never can support, is the dude that was putting iPhones in blenders and was like, will it blend or something like that. I mean, I guess like it's a good concept for a show on YouTube, but me, I'm like, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I cannot be that person where I'm out here blending phones and stuff for views. Like if I buy something, like, I'm not, going to destroy it. That's why I'm like, well, one thing with sneaker videos and stuff, like shifting gears now, because I'm like, I thought I would be able to talk about phones for 15 minutes, but no, I want to talk about other things. There's like a lot of things I want to talk about and stuff. But anyways, yeah, when I see sneaker videos, so there's these, so for those out there that are not sneakerheads, there's these Nike shoes called Vapor Max. This guy, seriously, he got like these, to me, they would have been special. To me, they would have been special. Whoever it was behind Nike sent him out these Vapor Max shoes, I guess, before they got released. He put them shoes through a saw, cut the shoes open, so I guess he can see the air at the, like, air bubble at the bottom of the shoe and stuff. So yeah, look up like Nike Vapor Max, and then you'll see how they got like that air at the bottom and stuff. He cut the shoe open so he can, I'm like, bro, I'm lost on that one. Why would you cut a shoe open? I remember how like much I was like how like much I was against shoes and sneakers and stuff back in the day. When I was like in high school and middle school and stuff, like I wasn't really into shoes and stuff. Like I wore Air Forces, Converse. I think it was like the most fanciest pairs of shoes I've ever really had were some Kobe 5s when I was in the 7th grade. But other than that, I was like, I never really had no other fancy shoes up until now when I started getting them for myself and things. But yeah, I'm like, I had like some like dope Forces. I wish I had me some Dunks. If I had me some like the Dunk Lows or some Dunk Highs, whichever, I've been dope with. I definitely would have kept. I'd probably have kept those, my Kobe 5s. But yeah, I mainly had Air Forces, Converse. I wish I still had these one Air Forces. Them shoes is beat up. I did like a restore video on them shoes, if anything, if I still kept them and stuff. But anyways, what other crazy sneaker videos have I seen? Like, but I think, well, I know by far that one was like the one that I was like, I can't approve of that. The man cutting the shoe in half, and I'm like, bro, like I don't understand like why that's a thing. Like I don't like I'm like I just so today well actually maybe a couple of weeks ago I had ordered me some shoes off of the website StockX, and I got the Air Jordan 13 Flint editions. And last thing that is on my mind is cutting them shoes in half. But nah, like ordering from that website, it wasn't bad, honestly. I have to say the only problem that I really did face was that there was like a minor delay. And honestly, the delay, so the shoes, they said it was going to be delivered on the 17th. The shoes was going to be, but they ended up being delivered the next day, today and stuff, the 18th. So, yeah, I'm like, I couldn't overall trip about that. I'm like, I'm a little bit sad. I would, I wanted my shoes right then and there and stuff. But, if it's a delay, like, UPS truck or shipment or something's like messed up, then I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I can understand and stuff. I was like, dang, man. I really did want my shoes yesterday. I was like, I probably would have been like really just breaking them in and wearing them. I mean, that's what I've been doing today and stuff. But yeah, it was like a major thing to trip about. Like, yeah, I was overall. I think the only thing that I really was tripping about yesterday is that I went to the South Center Mall. So pretty much to tell you guys my little adventure yesterday. So it was maybe like 1 o'clock, a little after 1 o'clock. Go to the bus stop, so I could go catch the bus to the to go to the South Center Mall and things. So pretty much had to wait a super long time for my bus to show up. And then, then I guess they got this new thing out called like full coach buses. And pretty much like you can't get on the bus. You can't get on the bus and things because there's too many people. But if you look in that bus, there's like one person sitting in every seat. I'm like, I can't even stand. Like, dang, like, have it where, like, have me do some Mission Impossible stuff, some Tom Cruise stuff, strap me to the side of the bus or something, but I'm not trying to sit here and wait another 30 minutes. Like, if that's the case, y'all need to have more buses in circulation. But don't have, like, one bus, like, showing up every 30 minutes to an hour and stuff, and people outside waiting and all that stuff. That's why the bus is getting so crowded. Like, you guys need to have either more buses, or you need to have it where there's more seats available and stuff, or have people doing some Tom Cruise stuff. But anyways, so I waited an hour. So I waited like 30 minutes at the bus stop, and then I waited 30 minutes at the transit center, and then I eventually did get on the bus. Then I had to take that bus to another transit center and got on another bus to go to the South Center Mall. Go to the South Center Mall, and I was going to check out this sneaker store that was there that be selling some dope sneakers and things. Get all the way there, that store is closed. So then I went to Foot Locker, Foot Action, and Champs. All of those stores pretty much had like the shoes out because I wanted, so there was another pair of 13s and stuff, Air Jordan 13s that was there at like the Chinese New Year. Pretty dope colorway. I should have gotten the shoes when they were out and stuff, when they originally came out instead of waiting up until now. But they didn't have that in my size. Then they had like these like, I wouldn't necessarily call them like Air Max Air Jordan 4s, but that's like what they look like. They look like some like Air Max Jordans and stuff like. But anyways, so I was going to get those, but I decided not to because I'm like, you know what? Nah, like, I don't really, them shoes, they just felt like it was a little bit too much and things. I'm like, nah, them shoes did not, I don't know, I ain't settled too well with them shoes. And then I wanted to see if they had these other shoes. I actually wanted to see if because I remember that Foot Action store had these one Jordans in there sitting in the shelves for the longest, but I think they must have took them shoes out because, they might have been in another store. They did have like another store that I didn't go into, but they didn't look like they didn't have no basketball shoes or no Jordans and stuff. There's a couple of stores I think I missed out on. Dang, I didn't even realize that. Well, I guess next time if I have the design, I ain't gonna go out there no time soon because I'm like, nah. After all of that, so then I leave. So I ended up buying a hat, and if you guys watch some of my latest YouTube videos, I have this new Sonics hat and stuff. Dope hat, I like it. I hadn't bought a baseball cap in years, honestly. Like, I honestly didn't know. You know what? Now to think about it, this would be my first. I think this is my first time ever because I think the last time it was my dad. He bought a baseball. Me and him, we both got like these I think he got like a different team, but it was like the colorway and stuff of it was matching and things. It was these all black baseball caps and stuff. And that was like years ago. That was definitely a while ago. Since then, I bought like beanies and bucket hats and stuff. But yeah, dang, wow. To like sit down and think about it, I'm like, dang, that's crazy. I haven't bought me a baseball cap in a while. My dad, he's the last person to buy me a baseball cap, but this would be my first ever baseball cap that I purchased for myself. Wow, that's crazy. It's like then you like, yeah, you sit down and think about it, you're like, dang, like I guess it has been that long. I think yeah, I think I was like either in high school or middle school when he bought me a baseball cap. But anyways, I think I was in high school. I think I was in high school and stuff. But so no, I got me a baseball cap. I'm wearing it, you know, enjoying it and stuff. Then I'm waiting all this time for a bus. Bus shows up, but it's a full coach bus, so I couldn't get on that bus. So then another bus shows up. We're able to get on that one. I'm like, that's the thing I don't understand. One bus is full, next bus is not. Like, I don't understand. I know that there's a bunch of people trying to catch these buses and things, but so anyways, yeah, so I get on the bus, head back to the second transit center, and then that's when I had got onto the wrong bus. And then it ended up in Berrien. Berrien is a completely different city that I live outside of. I don't live nowhere in Berrien or near. I don't even think Federal Way is near Berrien. Federal Way to Berrien. That's not how you spell Berrien. There we go. How long would that take? Oh, it's a 20-minute drive. Okay, well, still, like, I ended up, like, dang, I was all the way. I was far. Then I had to go to Tukwila. Dang, that's crazy. Wow. So, yeah, I guess, I think that was, I probably had to have been my first time ever going out there. I don't remember any other times going out in Berrien and things, so. But, yeah, I was like, how does that even, I swear, man, them buses, they need to change, like, that numbered things on them. Because them things, they don't even, like, half the time, that's the thing, though, like, I've seen where them numbers, like, they just, sometimes you'll get them, like, mixed up and things. Or they'll have it where it says, like, 2 terminal, and they won't even have no numbers up there, so you gotta ask. Like, nowadays, I'm like, you know what? Look, if I miss the bus, I miss the bus. Oh, well. But I'm not going to be, I was sitting there running all the way for this bus just to get on the wrong bus and end up in Berrien. And I'm like, wait a second, hold up. I'm like, bro, ain't this the 183? And that man, the way he was giving off directions, I'm like, okay, you know what? He told me where I need to go. That's all I need to hear. Like, he was saying all this other extra stuff. And I'm like, bro, I'm trying to understand what you're saying, but at the same, and you are speaking perfect English, but at the same time, I still don't understand what you're saying. Like, I'm lost on what you're talking about right now. You're adding all these other things. Like, you say I need to take this bus and this bus. I know about this second bus, but the first bus, are you sure it's that bus? Are you sure? Because, like, I ain't trying to end up in freaking Canada or somewhere, like, or going somewhere. I'm like, bro, dang, I'm trying to go home. There's like a wrestling show that's about to come on, and I like missed a few minutes of that, and I'm like, bro, that's the last city. So yeah, I was pretty much like a whole work day of just out doing nothing, and my only reward was a baseball cap. I'm like, you know what? This is the last time I do this stuff, man. I'm like, unless they got like some actual legitimate shoes that's, going to be available here sometime soon, then okay. But there ain't no shoes that caught my eye. Only shoes that just really caught my eye was these Flint 13s. And, yeah, so to talk about that, so when I was ordering these shoes from StockX, then that's when I started seeing all these, like, exposing videos on StockX, like people saying, oh, I've got me some fake shoes from StockX. Here's what I got and things. And then I was listening to the CEO and what he had to say about it. And that's why I'm like, you know what? When you want to hear something, like, you got to hear it from the person themselves. Like, you can't hear it from outside parties and stuff. But it's like, if you do hear it from outside parties, and then the person that's, like, above it all, or, like, they're the main reason why, like, they're the main objective of what's being talked about and stuff. If they agree with what these outside parties are saying, then then that's when you're like, oh, okay, so I'm not going to that website and ordering my shoes. But no, so there's all these videos online like talking like crap about StockX, saying how they sell fake shoes, like, or they don't verify them, or they don't authenticate them and things, and you're overall getting fake shoes. And then there people are saying like, oh, I've tried to like go and get my money back, and they didn't give me my money back, or they told me to just take the fake shoes and stuff. And I'm like, nah, like at that point I'm buying a plane ticket to wherever they're from or where they're at, and I'm like, yo, either I get the actual legitimate shoes or I get my money back, but I'm not leaving until I get something. in return. I'm that type of individual. I shouldn't be, but that's who I am. I'm like, nah. Like, that's the thing. I'm like, yeah, you could come out with a video talking about it and stuff, but what is that gonna honestly do? At that point, you gotta do like some freaking Ice Cube stuff when he was in Straight Outta Compton. You just gotta take a metal baseball bat and just start slamming stuff. You know, and be like, take that out of my check, and be like, wait a minute, they didn't even pay me no check. But still, you just gotta like mimic what he did and stuff. But no, I'm like, because now I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, if they got some fake shoes going on, one would think that yeah, if it's a well-known problem, if it's a like an actual legitimate problem, one would think that they would have you know, or they would, well, first off, they would have been shut down. That's one thing for sure. I know that there's like places out there and that be selling like fake Wish.com, prime example. They sell fake Jordans. You can go on there. These same Jordans that I got, these Flint 13s, they they be selling some Jordans that look just like it, but on the tongue part of the shoe, they have it where like Jordan, it looks like that painting of Squidward. Where, let me see like the painting Squid. You guys ain't gonna see it, but if you just look up if you look up on Google painting of Squidward, and it's it's a drawing where it's like, yeah, it's a painting of him with an orange background, and it's supposed to be him. That's what the Michael Jordan emblem looked like on them Wish.com Jordans and stuff. But that's the thing though. They're like, okay, yeah, we ain't calling them Jordans, we're calling them Gordons, or we're calling them whatever other names that we can possibly call them and stuff. But I think that's why I'm like, nah, with StockX, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense where you guys got these shoes, like, you guys ain't got like the actual legitimate shoes. So yeah, I watched this whole like video and things of the CEO or the creator of StockX, and he was on there saying like, yeah, usually these guys are like paid off to do this stuff. And I'm like, that's facts though. That is straight up facts. I believe in that. That's why I'm like, yeah, if you want to hear something, you got to hear from the main source. You can't really trust people. You got going, when you watch one of these outside videos, you got going 50-50 chance on whether or not you're going to believe it. But if you just jump straight to it and just believing in things, then yeah, I feel like people like that, it's like you believe something, you ain't even heard like what the other person then had to say about it. It's like you can't really think for yourselves. I've said that before. Those particular people know exactly who I'm talking about and stuff. But yeah, I was like, seeing all that stuff like surrounding StockX, I'm like, dang, bro. And there's like a lot of like exposing videos on StockX. But I can tell you guys right now, and I'm like, look, I'm not being paid to say this by StockX or anybody. I'm saying, I got me a real pair of Jordans sitting here right next to me and stuff. I watch videos to look up and see and things like the difference between the fakes and the real ones. I got the real ones. So, yeah, and it's like even the box, it's the real legitimate box. And that is like another detail, I guess, about the shoes. The box is going to be looking different, but no, same box, all of that, like, nothing's different in things, or it's not different from the real ones. It is the real ones. So yeah, I'm like, man, like, I don't know why people be doing stuff like that, trying to ruin a person's business and stuff. Like, that's why I'm like, it's kind of sad that people stoop down that low to like ruin another person's business for a check. Like, if you doing that, but here's the thing though, like, to say that I can relate to the CEO of StockX, there's people out there doing it for free. Like, there's people trying to ruin my name for free and stuff. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's just messed up though. People do that, like they'll stoop down that low and things to do that, and I'm like, bro, you guys, freaking go find a job, do something with your life, but stop trying to ruin other people's lives. Like, if they got something good going on, let them have something good going on. If they ain't offended you or affected you in any way possible, then yeah, like, don't try to do nothing to affect them or, you know, like mess them up and things. They ain't did nothing to you, but that's people, man. People don't care nowadays, and it's sad. But anyways, yeah, I'm about to do a video talking about it and things, my whole experience getting these shoes and stuff. And yeah, shout out StockX. I'm like, they didn't scam me, so that's all that matters. That's all that I honestly care about. As long as I ain't got scammed, then, you know, I don't know about all these other people and things, but anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you are new to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on a podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. And if you are purchasing tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your first purchase. And that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.